Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining us. Chris Hagerstrom here, and welcome to this episode of the JSA podcast. I'm very excited to have my guest here, Tyler Tolbert, our Chief Administrative Officer, and we're going to talk about the technology of being an independent agent working with the Medicare Life and Health product. So, Tyler, welcome.
Thank you.
Appreciate you being here. Tyler and I have been working together for a long time here, and being our Chief Administrative Officer, what are some of the responsibilities that you have?
So I oversee the new business, contracting, commission, and IT team.
Okay, that's a lot. That's a lot of people to manage.
Yeah, it's not bad. It's fun.
It's interesting when you look at, JSA as an agency. There's not a whole ton of agencies, a lot of FMOs that are out there. We're fortunate enough to be one of the most successful ones in the industry, but there's a lot of technology that's within this building, within our organization, that a lot of people don't talk about. And I think when you look back at where kind of the past 20 years of being an independent agent has come from, I mean, what did things look like back when we started in the industry?
Stacks of paper. I remember stacks of paper coming off the printer, a lot of temps working through those enrollments, and they just grab a stack, get to work on them. And at the end of that, we'd fax them all to the carrier.
Fax them.
We still fax, as crazy as it sounds. Like a lot of faxing goes on. We've just been able to automate it. But yeah, it's still the primary delivery of paper apps.
That's crazy. It's 2025 and we've got all these crazy tools and all these technological advancements, and we're still using the good old fax machine.
Fax machine, yeah. Somehow, I think doctors convinced CMS that it was safe to do.
It's still a necessary thing. We've got to have
yeah.
fax machines. This is completely fine. There's never room for a breach here.
No.
Yeah, I remember that back in the day. We would... One of the AEPs, I remember sitting at my desk and with a banker's box, just turned the long way with a stack of applications, and we were just entering them in the system and trying to get them off to the carrier as fast as possible.
That reminds me, whenever way back in the day, remember Todd? He would go to pick up his day, like the day's worth of paper apps, and he had his back window open, and this banker's box didn't have a lid on it.
Oh no.
He's driving down the road and they blow out his back window. Like, I don't know how much, but he got them all. It was just completely unsafe.
Well, yeah. I mean, imagine just paper applications and then our agents having to save those paper applications. It's crazy to see all the advancements that even just something as simple as ultimately an application there have been over the past couple of years.
Yeah. I think, telesales have helped a little bit with the rural people and the remote tools that we have. My health plan and Sunfire has helped with that. But still, those areas that are a little disconnected or internet still very much still get paper to this day.
Oh, and there's some clients that will never do an electronic application.
Yeah.
They just don't want to. They don't have a cell phone. They don't have a good internet connection. They don't have an email address. There's a tons of different reasons to still do paper. But a majority of our applications are electronic.
Thankfully, yes.
Thankfully, yes. No, why? So there may be some people watching this that have thought about doing electronic applications or moving into the digital age. Why would an agent want to work as hard as they possibly could to be more digital forward, especially when it comes to things like quoting and enrollment?
Well, I think it's all centralized then. So down to the scope of appointment, the enrollment's all digital. You have a record of all that. It's stored for the compliance period of 10 years that you need it to automatically. So, picture it having a central spot where all of your information lives, your drugs on your members' information, their enrollment history, their scopes, call recordings, you name it. It's all there, all in one spot, one lookup. You can retrieve all that if there is a compliance problem. But I think if you use the digital tools, you get the extra stuff that comes with it, like active analytics. October 1st hits, and you have one place to go check. What members are impacted the most. So if you have a huge block of 500 members, you only need to worry about 50 of them. That's a head start.
Yeah, keep everything centralized. This year we launched Core, which is our CRM, because a lot of people have been asking us for a long time, when are you guys going to get a CRM? And we launched Core, and we've learned that there's a lot of agents out there that aren't necessarily using any kind of like a CRM system. Like they're still using like an Excel spreadsheet, or they still have the paper files, or maybe they just have the address book in their phone. And while they're utilizing these digital tools, where's the benefit of utilizing the digital tools if you're not going to have like a CRM?
Speed to enrollment, I think. Quick being able to quote and provide different options to your member. I think that's a lot harder. Well, maybe not if you're in person, right? You have your different plan options out there. But, the downside of that is it's still personal touch, which is, why I still think the insurance agent is needed. It's never going to be the member wants to trust somebody, wants good advice instead of, they could go look at their own plan and see what's changed on it, but they should talk to their agent about that. And I think if the agent were to use those online enrollment tools after that first year's done, so you do your whole AEP and your whole SEP through the whole year, then come AEP time again, you have all that data that you could really target stuff that needs targeted.
Yeah, just keep everything centralized. It's AEPs are getting crazier and crazier. This year, we ran into all the different issues that we've been talking about. The plans that are being suppressed, the plans that are non-commissionable, the ones that are just leaving the market. So it seems like we had this level of turmoil last year, last AEP. We're having this level of turmoil this year. There's some speculation, and we tend to agree with it, that we're going to see kind of the same level of turmoil next year, and having all of your information in one spot makes it easier to handle that. But what are some of the things that we've done to help an agent to kind of dig in the weeds a little bit more? What are some of the things that we've done with the digital tools and the things that we offer that could really help an agent out in a situation like that?
Well, I think change is going to happen. I mean, like you said, we've been doing this a long time, and I don't think there's been a year where it's like, this is just like last year. So positioning yourself in a way that when that happens, that you're ready to deal with it quickly. I think our CRM is moving towards that goal of having a centralized enrollment platform connections for whichever platform that you use, storing all that member data in the way that you can retrieve it. I don't know,
I'm thinking of one specific tool, one thing that I think a lot of agents could benefit from that maybe they don't necessarily know about up to this point, but they should. Active analytics.
Active analytics on my health plan is critical. I think that's what you have a large member base and you narrow it down to just the ones impacted the most. And that's when it comes out right at the turn of the year, or at turn of AEP, October 1st. I mean, it's tough to keep track of. I mean, we tried our best to receive all the different carrier notice, the different emails, the different Excel files, PDFs, they're all in different formats. To sort of have that kind of loaded and it's carrier provided data on October 1st. And ideally it's going to change as those carrier changes their commissionable status, their coverages. So that'll be a big one, but you do need to use the enrollment tool to get the benefit of that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And I think we've seen our numbers already this year. We have more people using it than have in years past. And I mean, that's kind of been the story since 2020. It's COVID, where everybody had to get away from meeting in person. And, in a lot of places we were told, no, don't meet in person. And the online enrollment became very powerful. But with active analytics, and for those of you that don't know, active analytics it's kind of an add-on to our My Health Plan and quoting and enrollment platform, where we will run October 1st. We take any client enrollments that have been done through My Health Plan, which is our Connector platform, and we run it against what plan they're currently on. So we'll actually double check that with Medicare. We'll double check they're still on that plan. And if not, it makes updates to that. And then we run, what does that plan look like for year over year? So we'll take a look at, is the plan still available? Is the plan commissionable? Has there been any major changes to benefits? Any major changes to premiums? Have any drugs fallen off the formulary? We're going to see drastic increases in cost year over year. And all that data is run on October 1st, when everybody kind of gets to take a look at all the different plans that are out there. And then we release it off to the agent. So it's a huge tool. It's a huge benefit for agents that have been using My Health Plan to continue to use My Health Plan, because you get that level of, I don't know what I could call it, preparedness, maybe. As you go year over year, we look at what plans are available, what plans are not, what plans are non-commissionable. And whenever I do a lot of trainings before we get up to, or the beginning of AEP each year, it's, how are we going to find our squeaky wheels? How do we find our squeaky wheels as far as the people that I have to talk to right away during the annual enrollment period? And that active analytics report really does gangbusters when it comes to getting you the information. And then there's another tool that a lot of our agents have adopted lately. And I know that both you and I are big fans of the tool, and that's Retire Flow.
Oh, yeah. Shout out to Dalton. Hey, Dalton. That was just one of the best tools that we could have partnered with in the moment. And I'm really glad it worked out. I mean, Retire Flow Dalton and his team did an amazing job rolling that out. People seem to love it. So the more that the agents can use that's a pre-enrollment form, send it out to your member. They collect all the information that you need pre-enrollment, pre-appointment. It collects automatically. It's going to go integrate right into Core. So it collects all that information back out to My Health Plan or Sunfire, whichever platform that you use.
Yeah, Retire Flow is awesome. I know a lot of people. And once again, shout out to Dalton. Yeah, technology's been, it seems like, and I've talked to agents and they've expressed this to me. It almost seems like, I mean, it was, things have been kind of the way they were for the longest time. It was, as long as you have a sales kit, as long as you have the provider directory, as long as you have the formulary, you could go out and with the kits in the back of your trunk, you could drive around and make sales. But it seemed like, once COVID happened and really everything kind of became digital first, but it seems like it's moving really fast. Like technology for an agent, for an agency owner, for somebody who's trying to administer all this data and make sure things are accurate and compliant and on point. It seems like it's moving really fast. Where do you think that momentum's going to continue into the future? Do you think we're going to see maybe a little bit of a slowdown as we kind of get used to this new normal? Or do you think it's just going to be one continuous bullet train into the future?
Yeah, I mean, it's all happened over the past 5 years, really since COVID. Up until COVID, back to paper apps, it was climb. Paper was coming up and up and up. And then enrollment hit and they had to do remote meetings and appointments with members. And that crashed like 40%. Our paper dropped 40% and it's dropped year over year. So it never came back.
Nope.
So if you give you COVID credit for a good thing, that was forcing people to do technology adoption. At the same time, our enrollment capability went up, I think, because of that. And you look at tech changes over the past few years. I mean, I think, if I'm not mistaken, Google this for me, Chris. I think ChatGPT's first version dropped in 2022, 3 years ago. But that's right. Just think how not long ago that was.
Yeah, it was
how
the end of November.
So AI is dominating the conversation. I think right now what people are struggling with is finding a great use case for it. But I think they're starting to settle into stuff. You're already using a lot of it in meeting summaries. Probably if you have a phone system that can do it, you might be doing it for compliance checks on member calls, things like that. Would be a good use case. And then Active Analytics uses a version of AI. It's not the language model everyone's talking about, but it is an AI tool. So I think that momentum is going to keep going. I think as people make new tools, they're going to be able to do that faster because of AI as a little kind of coding partner. So I don't see that going away anytime soon.
Now, the big scary thing about AI when you talk to salespeople is this is going to replace me. I don't believe that personally. I don't believe that AI is going to replace the agent.
I don't think so either. I think the agent's always going to be needed because it's tough to really trust a robot in any context. I do think that the agent that uses AI is going to replace the agent that doesn't.
How so?
I just think they'd be faster. They'll be able to handle more, take up more territory per agent, things like that. If they can accomplish more coverage by using it as a tool or an assistant. Even think of Core, like you want to make sure that you do an outreach to all your members, okay? That's an AI. It can generate an email for you, a thank you letter for you. It can do all those things while you're sleeping. So if you're an agent that's not using any AI and you try to do the same thing, well, you're being outperformed.
Yeah, because it's actual man hours that you need to dedicate to stuff like that.
Right. And that's when you start talking about agentic AI, which was a buzzword. It's starting to actually come true where it's making actions on your behalf. It's doing these things automatically. Now, would I trust that yet? No. 2 years from now, maybe. I mean, we'll see how it goes. It's still a version of automation that can be controlled to an extent, but just think about that. Someone that can do follow-up calls and think about reaching out to a carrier for support. If you know what the problem is, far future idea, maybe it's not you calling them, it's your AI assistant calling the carrier. So you don't have to spend that 2 hours on hold.
And listen to the same old music over and over and over again.
Yeah. So,
any of my veterans watching this, I still have the Secure Horizons producer help desk theme music play in my dreams about once a quarter.
Yeah.
Ugh,
we have some like AI projects internally here. And the idea there for our team that might have that concern is, if it's like a data entry thing, your benefit to the company and to the agent is being that service point. They have a problem, you help them. That's their role. That's their primary role. It's not being able to take information from one screen and put it on the other screen. That's not the value that they bring. So it just enables them to do more of that valuable thing. And that would extend to the agent too. Like, what is their value? It's, assisting the member with all their health questions, their problems, finding the plan that fits them, and less about doing those carrier follow-ups, tracking. If you use all those digital tools, AI included, you might have to do less of portal logins to carrier sites to check on enrollment statuses, things like that. My health plan to certain carriers now has enrollment confirmation at the carrier level. So that's one less thing they have to worry about.
I feel like we've seen a lot of, over the past couple of years, we've seen a lot of carriers become more open to kind of integrating with some of the systems. So I remember when we first got my health plan, what was it, like 7 years ago, something like that?
Yeah.
When we first had it, we only had a limited amount of carriers, but in a sense, we no longer have that issue. We've got a quoting and enrollment platform. So we've seen carriers become more open to sharing some data. And you just said that we've been able to get, on at least my health plan, we've been able to get actual enrollment confirmations on there. Do you think we'll get to a point where carriers will kind of open everything up to us? So maybe we could do a little bit more self-service on enrollment issues, things like that? Or do you think that there will always kind of be this wall between the carrier and the sales force and the clients that we all serve?
Well, I think it depends on the issue. Hopefully we get to a place where we could do things like correct Medicare dates and things like that. Like network problems, it's kind of plan specific. Yeah, potentially, I think where we were prior to, all these other enrollment platforms taking off was the carriers were also building them. They saw the need for it. I think distribution just outpaced it a little bit, and they were hard. You have to use this. You have to use our portal to do enrollments. And that's slowly dissolving over time.
Good.
And I saw some carriers move to like a Connecture to service their own enrollment platform.
A lot of carriers have been using Connecture because Connecture is the old DRX, which of course we all know ran Medicare.gov for a long time, but there's still like carriers, you go to a carrier website and you put in that zip code to look at the plan, it's taking you to a Connecture platform. Yeah. Like WellCare, Anthem uses it. There's a bunch of them that use it.
Yep.
So it's nice to have that data there. There were some hiccups with my health plan right at the beginning of October, like there always is. And I know that it causes a lot of strife for agents. And if it's the middle of or the beginning of AEP, you're trying to get to as many people as possible, all of your squeaky wheels are squeaking at the same time. What advice could you give to agents when the technology, it may seem like it's breaking down in front of them?
I mean, there's also other options. We offer Sunfire, not that that's a secondary option. It's just to explain that a little bit. Our position is use the enrollment platform that works best for you. So there's another platform that is available if those things happen. I think one of them was part of an entire internet outage for the day.
Amazon Web Services just having a little hiccup there.
Yeah, Amazon goes down. If Amazon or Microsoft goes down, then no one's working.
Yeah.
So that was one of those deals. But yeah, I just think have your backup plans in order. Second and third option. Third option might be paper. Not that you have to stock 100 kits, but maybe a couple just in case.
Just in case. And there's always the carrier websites. There's always, you can kind of lean back on those if you need to. But in the case of Amazon going out, it's like, well, what carrier is actually working today? Oh, it's next to no one.
And then, probably with Amazon being down, you can't even send the app to the carrier anyway. So you might as well just take the day off.
Yeah, right. Go get a coffee, maybe do some back office work. So we touched a little bit on AI and what its impact's going to be on the industry. Do you see, because you've studied this and you've spent a lot of time looking into it, do you see AI causing problems specific to our industry? Do you think that it'll be this benefactor, which we're modeling it and using it for, or do you see it as a big disruptor to what we do?
I think people try to use it for a little bit of everything. I think if you use AI for a specific task and it only knows that thing, it does pretty well. If you're trying to make one AI do all these things, it's going to fail miserably. There's also still the hallucination problem, hallucination is just a byproduct of how an AI works. So it's going to try to predict the next word or a series of words, and sometimes it just makes up stuff. So whenever you're dealing with a regulated industry, just making up stuff's not enough. It's not going to cut it. So that's why back to treating it like an assistant, think of a first-year employee or something like you trust them to do the work, but I'm going to check it. and just make sure that it's correct. That will save you time still, no doubt. But even using it for research, stuff like that, it's very helpful. Understanding a plan market, for example, is a lot easier because you don't have to go Google and read 30 different articles. Yeah, it could be 1,000 things. It just can't do it all good all at the same time.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
We're just not there yet. We don't have that level, but who knows? I mean, the rate that AI has been in advancing, kind of, it's hit that curve and it's gone up exponentially,
It is.
even just over the past 11 months since the beginning of this year.
Yeah,
We've
I
seen
think it's
big
going to
strides
get
in it.
interesting with the agentic stuff. Microsoft and Google, even just today, as we're recording this, release a computer use model. So it sets up its own little computer and does things for you. So go download these enrollment statuses, log into this, log into
Go
that.
grab this production report, go check this commission statement.
Right. But, on the flip side of that, compliance nightmare.
Yeah.
And a security one too. So you still have to be careful. Almost all of the major models offer a tier that is compliant that you can sign up for. It doesn't retain your data and train it on your data. But if you go, to Google's AI and just use it as a regular user, you don't have those protections.
No.
So it's important. It's important if you're going to use it, make sure it covers those compliant requirements because you'll cause a breach if you don't.
Oh, nobody wants to do a breach.
No.
Oh, heck no.
No one likes a reportable breach event.
No, absolutely not. I feel like compliance is always at the center of what we do. And there's just so many concerns with compliance and AI and what its implications could be, especially from data breaches. Because if an AI gets your data and it's not controlled.
Or think of its potential use in fraud, targeting members specifically. It's already to the point where audio-wise, I'm not real sure something's real all the time. Even videos getting close to that. So who knows? I mean, they might think of an AI-powered call center that's just dialing all day. That sounds convincing, has a script, compliance-wise, it's recorded, hitting up members, and then it's got this computer use model that's doing the enrollment. Like, who knows, where that could go.
So ever since AI kind of became prevalent, once, ChatGPT was released at the end of November, it's interesting how there have been proposals to put guardrails on AI in healthcare, but there's been no actual law, language, or anything that's going to get built. And I wonder why. Why do you think that is? Why do you think that the regulators are afraid to touch it at this point?
Because it's like the space race. So it's the space race all over again. You have China competing with their models, and they're making them all open source, so everyone can use them for free. And really, the winner is whoever builds an AI tool that can be super effective. So if it's the US company or a Chinese company, think of where all the companies are going to go to automate their processes, things like that. And then, it's kind of a dystopian future. But I think that's part of it. I think no one wants to lose.
No one wants
AI
to
race.
stifle
It's
the
an arms
possible
race.
advances. Interesting. Yeah, we're seeing it more. We're seeing it more just in our industry. It's been a big help for a lot of different agents and even our core system. Like, it's having that AI capability within core while being compliant.
Yeah.
Is very nice just to do the simple tasks. Hey, can you write up this email? Hey, can you find clients on this plan? It's just like for easy things like that, where you would have to know the true nuts and bolts of how this CRM or this data lookup works, where you can just ask a simple question. It makes things so much easier. So much easier.
Yeah. And again, sometimes it'll do something, well, that's a little weird. Why did it do that? But again, it's only 3 years old.
Yeah.
Remember, it's only 3 years old.
It almost feels like it's been here for the longest time. It's like, oh man, we've had this forever. Like, looking into the future, looking at where we are today and what we want to work on in the future. What are our goals, or what are we going to try to be enhancing at JSA from a technology standpoint to help our agents be more compliant, be more efficient, be more successful, and help more people?
A lot of those opportunities present themselves in the moment. It depends on, I think building out core a little bit better, for example. Two-way sync of all that data would be big.
A two-way sync would be massive. That would be massive. Have all the systems talking to each other. I feel like we're getting close with that too.
Yeah. And, integrate like our pro shop into it, I think would be a big one. Sending out postcards, mailers directly from the CRM. Again, all those things that can help save time.
We used to, a lot of the advancements that were made were about how can we save you an hour? How can we save, how can we save you a week? how can we save you a day? And it seems like a lot of the things that we've been doing are, how do we save you minutes? Like, how do we save you these random little minutes throughout the day?
Those minutes add up.
Those minutes do add up, especially when it comes to a very truncated selling season of only 50 some days. Interesting. Any big predictions in the agent distribution and sales space from our technology operations expert?
Big predictions. I'm still in the AI land, man. That's where my brain's been at this whole year, focusing on those tools and how they could impact it. I think that's going to be the trend for the next year, at least. I think everyone's waiting for that tool to settle a little bit, find good use cases to use it. I think you're going to see a lot of chat bots. I think insurance carriers are going to use it for chat bots, and insurance carriers are going to use it for, potentially plan finder information. You just put in the member's information and it goes finds plans available for that carrier and presents them in a way. Outside of that, it's just wait and see on a lot of that. I don't think you're going to see a big giant disruption in like software that's going to be suddenly developed that's going to replace the established companies like Connecture or Sunfire or any of those like. So we'll see how it goes out. But I think what we're working on is next year we've got a ARC redo coming. So our portal's going to enable you to keep track of your contracts better, your certification, your licensing, your enrollment history. So, back to the core idea, funneling all that in is still great. Also present that on the ARC. So the agents that already do have a CRM that they like, say they wanted to keep using it, they still have access to that information. It's just about centralizing the information, centralizing your workflow to make you more efficient.
Absolutely. Efficient. That seems to be the key word.
Yeah.
How do we increase the efficiency of everyone? Not just, the agents that work, but even here internally at JSA, a lot of the decisions and the advancements that we make in with all of our different business processes is efficiency.
Yeah.
It's all around efficiency.
Meet with a member and the sales call is an hour and a half. If you can get that down to an hour just by having readily access to the information that you need to help, that's a whole another meeting a day minimum.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. It's crazy. Like it's funny you say 5 years ago and I'm like, oh, that's 2020. That seems like yesterday. But we've come such a long way in such a short amount of time with just the advancements in technology. And I'm with you. I think AI is going to be a big change in the future. I think it's going to impact and make us more efficient and allow to me, it seems like we're pushing and the whole industry is pushing towards how do we help more people as far as Medicare beneficiaries and people who need ACA plans and people who need life insurance? Like, how do we help more people without having more people, aka more agents? That seems like that's the goal, is how do we have a smaller workforce help a wider pool of individuals?
Well, unless we can recruit a younger generation into agents, that's true.
That's very true. That's very true. And we've seen a younger generation of agents come into the business. We've seen, younger folks that maybe have gone to college and they've graduated and they get out of college and they try to use their degree and they're like, you know what, this isn't what I thought it was going to be. And they see their friends selling stuff and are like, this is amazing. So we've seen kind of a big surge in younger agents getting into the market, but we're also seeing the reverse. We're seeing the people that are retiring from the market, and we see the people that are selling their books of business, and we've helped a lot of those individuals go through that process. So it's time for a big age shift in the industry. And I think with the tools, with AI, with the automations, with everything being connected, with the ability to really expand your service area through the use of technology, I think that's a big attractor to the younger folks. And I think that's kind of why they're gravitating towards this business, because with all these people that are still turning 65 and all the people that are already on Medicare, this is one of the, if not the greatest industry to be in from a sales perspective. Yeah. And I don't foresee that changing anytime in the future. We're just trying to make it easier for everyone, right?
Yeah. Give them more other time back.
Give more of your time back so you can help more people. Well, Tyler, appreciate it.
Yeah.
Thanks for hanging out with us. We'll have you back on again. And who knows, next time we have some crazy enhancement in our industry with the tools and technology that we work with, we'll chat.
All right, man.
All right, cool. Thanks.